SWOT, the good old SWOT analysis. Know your landscape inside and out. Strength, weaknesses, opportunity, threats. We've all heard it. We've all probably done it in different formats. And there's been some tweaks that I've seen over the journey. And you may have used some different versions. But to me, it's a real critical part of your business. It's something that I constantly, and your coach can work with you constantly on, is your SWOT analysis. And the way I want you to think about it is potentially a little bit different to what you may be thinking about in a normal SWOT analysis, is I want you to understand your business and the landscape around your business. Because often it's, SWOT analysis inside your business. What's the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, the threats. But I want you to think outside, because when you think about your stakeholders, your customers, your employees, your business, maybe suppliers, what's going on? And now more than any time in business history, the landscape outside your business is changing daily. The new normal is a term you may have heard, and pivot is another one. And you've got to be agile. You've got to be thinking in an agile process, because your business may survive 12 months, 5 years, 10 years, but it may not. Because as the market changes and the economy changes, global internet is so much more powerful than ever before. That smartphone in your hand is such a great business tool. So what are the strengths of your business? What are the weaknesses of your business? Think about it from, first of all, in my opinion, think outside, because the new normal is different. What are your strengths? Think about your strengths from a point of view. How does my business survive in the market right now? What will my business be like in 10 years? And what strengths do I have? And what things can I consider? Because there are so many things happening right now. And weaknesses. It's really important to think about your weaknesses, because you've got some. Okay, and your organization, like every organization on the planet, has its weaknesses, and you must be considering, where are we vulnerable? What do we need to be considering? Is it around our business model? Is it around the way we're structured and the way we earn our money? Do we need to consider diversifying? Do we need to consider alternate sales strategies, marketing, distribution, whatever it may be? There's so many things happening, and look at your competitors. What are they doing differently? What are they doing that's the norm? Opportunities. Never been a better time to consider opportunities, whether they be regional, metropolitan based, global based. Think about even continent. You might be in a metro market, but have you thought about all the other metro markets in Australia or Asia? So think about your opportunities from a real broad point of view, because we're always thinking about a business, but are we truly thinking outside our business? Yes, we can think internally, look at our processes, our people, our organizational structure. We can do all these things, and they're great, and they constantly challenge what we can do better internally. But you must be thinking about what you can do better externally. And threats, well, the pandemic of recent times has been one of the biggest threats that we've seen in modern business in my time. So I think it's really important to think about, well, what threats are potentially out there? What would we do if we had another pandemic, or, God forbid, World War III? That's the most dramatic, catastrophic thing that potentially could happen in the business communities. What threats are out there? And there might be just small threats, new competitors, new franchises, new buying groups, new global companies wanting to come into your market and grab market share, and that online threat that we constantly face. I could talk for hours on different thoughts and ideas, because you must be thinking about this all the time. And if you've got a great coach, which I'm sure you have, that coach should be always asking you great questions around, what is your SWOT? What's the landscape? What initiative do you need to take to improve your business inside and out? Because the new normal is now here. So your business, does its model stack up? And I mentioned that before. Do you need to pivot? Do you need to innovate? Do you need to evaluate your risk? These are great questions that you constantly must be asking yourself, whether it be quarterly, half yearly, and I wouldn't go any longer than that. I think a SWOT is something that needs to be live and interactive, and there's a video on a one-page strategic plan. Your SWOT should sit in there, and they should be in front of you constantly, and constantly thinking about these questions. Because at the end of the day, your business is a live, breathing thing relying on you and your people. and you and your team. So you must constantly be rolling these questions around with your coach, rolling these questions around with your team, and rolling these questions around in your head to keep your strategy live and vibrant. Hope this helped. Good old SWOT. Love it. Keep it top of mind because it's a critical part of your business. Thank you.